imagine how that would feel. Or if you couldn't feel heat. And sometimes, and sometimes I like to speak and off the cuff, right? But certain times you listen to this thing, I was cold today. I was literally in the house, I didn't turn the heat on. I was like, everyone like Jamaican, I'm like, right now. I'm on hot weather, hot weather, right? But I was thinking like, man, I'm taking it for granted that although I'm cold, I have the ability to warm myself. I have the ability to not only warm myself with just the clothing that I wear, but I can also warm my spirit with the people that I encounter and the people that I put myself near. So the one thing I just want to thank everybody today, this is one response. Solicity is coming from you. I feel like Tyrone, you helped make this manifest on this marvelous Monday. That I want people to think about is, what's something that you could complain about right now that you have the ability to change in your life? Because there are a lot of things that I feel like we have going on in life right now. It could be finances, relationship, communication, business, jobs, education. It could be kids, family, different things, cars, bills. And these are things that it could be different things weighing on the heart. But I want you to think about that. So think about something that you could complain about, but that you have the power to change. And if you're open to sharing it, or whatever that may be for you, I encourage you. You have a chance, no, I thought about something, and share that with us. That'd be great. One thing that I want to share with you all, and this kind of ties back into what I want to talk about, was the simple thing about communication. Communication, although Robert says these great things about me, about how articulate I may be when it comes to giving a speech or painting different scenes or making sure someone resonates with the different tides of the sea so they can understand if I said something, if it's similar or just a simile. I want people to understand this. My communication sucks when I talk to my mom. And it's not that I can't talk to her. It's the fact that when I talk to her, my emotions get the best of me. See, I want better for my mom, but because of what she's been living in the hood, she chooses sometimes to take the victim approach, and what I do is I attack her for it. Instead of being a son, instead of having compassion, instead of speaking with the ability to say, hey, I get what you're going through, I speak with her, I'm tired of you going through this. So that's something that I want to change for myself. Just be my communication with my mom, parents, loved ones, and family. All right, so this is the Morgan State University Club. And, this is, like Robert said, this is the best club out because we're all dedicated to when it comes to this growth, excellence, and just improving yourself, being more impactful, passionate, caring, and competent when it comes to communication. And I want to turn this over to, this is a person right here I'm going to turn this over to. They're a person that when you hear them speak, often you get chuckle. They're a person that sometimes you have to sit back in the seat and loosen that buckle because they'll get you smiling, they'll get you up, and if you're down, they'll lift you up. I want to give it to the one and only Mrs. Redbottoms, Mrs. Eva, that is our Toastmaster for today, because she's the first lady to have it. Give it up for Mrs. Eva. Thank you. We appreciate you always. Anything that you get in your heart that you like, what's something I can complain about? I can change. It is always yours to either share or to keep it.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I thank you.
Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. Good evening, Toastmasters, guests, and friends. I don't know if many of you remember when I did that speech in a contest. And one of my mentors said, you need to enter a contest. And I said, okay, how many other people will enter? Well, the following week, she comes back, Mr. Lisa Pleasant, and said, you're the only one. I say, who? Me? That speech brought me first place trophy in the contest.
Oh, yeah.
So I would like to say hello to all and to say there's no place like home.
Yeah.
This was our meeting spot when we started in the library, and I worked here, so we had this Remember, when you're doing your speech, you don't have to stay stable. This whole area is your stage. That's your stage. You can walk it. You don't have to stand behind this. Just take your time, breathe, and give your speech. We all have something to bring to the table. Olio, you said what? His thing was, what is something you could complain about and that you have the power to change? Well, that's good for me, because just last week I wrote something down. I am the first lady of City Hope Missionary Baptist Church, and we have young people in our church. And I said to my husband, I need to pull them out for about 15 or 20 minutes, because they may not understand why they have to come to church every other Sunday. The parents make them come and sit there, they take the cell phone from them. And I said, let's Google the word salvation. Let's go into the assurances of God, just the first 5, and that's your assignment. And I said, that's something that I was complaining about to my husband, but now I said, we're going to make a change so these young people can understand why they come to church, what salvation is, not being perfect, but just learn. Don't sit up there and listen to pastors and say, I'm ready to go home. What time is it? Learn from it, because most of them are males. So those are the ones that we want to catch. So thank you all for being here, and we are going to have a great meeting. And I cannot do this alone. Others will follow the yellow brick road with me this evening. First, we will have our counter and grammarian, Ms. Natasha Brown. Can you come up and explain your role to us, please? Let's give her a hand.
Good evening, Toastmasters, future Toastmasters, and distinguished guests.
Good evening.
I'm so happy to be before you all today, and I will be your all-counter grammarian. Miss Eva just told me I didn't have to stand behind this thing, so let me just come around. Let me introduce the word of the day. The word of the day is laconic. So let's repeat after me. Laconic. Excellent. It means using or involving the use of minimum words. Concise to the point of seeming rude or mysterious. Laconic. Her bubbly and loquacious personality was a humorous yet complimentary contrast to her girlfriend's more laconic demeanor. Complimentary contrast to her girlfriend's more laconic demeanor. Laconic. So I will be taking a look at your grammar this evening, as well as my own. Your filler words. So I will encourage you all to just pause and allow the words to come to you and just flow. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Brown, for explaining your role. And never feel intimidated when it comes to speaking. That's why we're here, to learn every day, to use new words like laconic. And when you do use that word, this is what will happen. What will happen, Tyrone? Say the word of the day. Anytime we're speaking, you'll have a knockout. Our next person will be our timer, and that's Ashley Price, one of our newbies. I call her. Ashley, come up and explain your role, please. And if you don't want to come up, you can stand. But we're trying to get people used to using the stage, because when you go out to the contest, that's what they're looking at. You can stand still today if you feel like it, because you're a newbie. I see you on Facebook, so you ain't no newbie to me. But explain your role to us, please.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ashlyn Price. This is my first year in Toastmasters and my first time being in the room face to face. Well, second time face to face with my family. I'm excited to be here with you guys. So I am your timer for the evening. So those who are speaking, I will be timing you. At the 5 minute mark, you will see the red book. At the 6 minute mark, you will see the orange/yellow book. And at the 7 minute mark, you will see the green book, opposite colors. Those who are doing table topics, at 1 minute, you will see the green book. At 1 minute and 30 seconds, you will see the orange. And at 2 minutes, you will see the red. And those who are doing evaluations, at the 2 minute mark, you will see the green book. At 2 minutes and 30 seconds, you will see the orange book. And at 3 minutes, you will see the red book. At that time, you will have 30 seconds to complete your evaluation.
Thank you, Ms. Price. We have two prepared speakers tonight. Our first speaker is Miss Angela Hammond. Her speech, the title of her speech is Your Credit Matters. Her path, presentation mastery, level 4, 5 to 7 minutes. The purpose of this speech, of this project, is for members to understand the types of speeches and deliver a precise speech at the club. Angela Hammond is an author, certified life coach, international speaker, and owner of Angela Hammond Coaching LLC. She is also a wife, a mother of 3, and a true woman of God. Angela enjoys teaching and encouraging women through the Word of God. She goes by the name, the Purpose Pusher. Why? Because her goal is to help women understand their total worth and to live out their God-given purpose freely, fearlessly, and for God's glory. Mm-hmm. Let's put our hands together for Miss Angela Hammond.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. I like that. So tonight, as Ms. Eva mentioned, my title is Your Credit Matters. You all going to help me do this presentation. So I have some handouts, and there's numbers on them. And only when I call out the number, your instruction is to read it and share it and show everyone. Okay? So, as I am passing out the slides, I want to begin to say, babe, you know what? I think we need a new car. We need to get a new car. Yeah, we need to get a new car. It's time for us to get a new car. Well, what do we need to do to get a new car, baby? Well, we're going to go to the dealership. And when the dealership, we're going to get this credit together. We're going to get this car. We're going to have a good time. And all the babies can get in it now. They don't have to be all cranked up. We're getting a new car. We get to the dealership, excited. We know what we want. We know the color. We know the make, the model. We know how much we want to spend. Get to the dealership, filling out the paperwork. The guy said, who we put this car in name in? Who's doing the financing? We like both of us. What you mean? And what's the problem? So we begin filling out the information. They take it in, they write it down, and they go back to say, well, it looks like we're not going to be able to put it in both of your names. So you have to decide whether you want to do it in just one person's name, because we're going to just take that person's income, or you just going to walk out here with nothing. I looked, I said, what do you mean? Not two, we both can't get the car in our name. And he said, ma'am, your credit is not able to do the car loan. He said, you can do it in your husband's name, and we can walk out here with whatever car you want. But we can't do it for both of you. I said, wow, my credit matters. Good evening, Toastmasters, future Toastmasters, and distinguished guests. Again, I am Angela Hamlin. Many of you know me, introduced as the purpose pusher, but I'm also a financial analyst. So I come today as the financial analyst, but I'm still going to push you to let you know about your credit matters. So someone who has number 1, can you hold that up for me, please? And what does that say?
Credit matters.
Your credit
Can
matters.
you say it loud?
Your credit matters.
Awesome. So that is going to be the theme for the next few minutes. Your credit matters. There's another person that may also have the same. Number 2. Can you tell me what you have?
Range between 300 and 850. Good score is 670 through 739.
So that's something else we're going to talk about. Look at the range. Who's got number 3? Let's see. What does that say?
Credit report bureaus, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian.
Can you repeat that?
Oh, you want me to repeat it? Okay. Credit report bureaus, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian.
Thank you. Who has number 4?
Score calculation, 40% payment history, 20% credit utilization, 21% vehicle credibility, 11% recent report analysis, 5% new credit, 3% available credit.
Awesome. Y'all take note, right? Who has number 5?
I do.
And that says,
Credit report sections, identity, existing credit information, public records, and recent inquiries.
awesome. And there's a 6. And it says,
annualcreditreport.com or by phone 1-877-322-8228.
and a number 7.
All right. Credit. C stands for create a winning mindset. R, resources. E, examine. D, dispute. I, identify and improve. And T, take time today to know your number.
So you have the PowerPoint, you know the objective, you know what we're going to talk about. So I'm going to put it in 4 or 5 questions. I'm going to answer. What is credit? Credit is the ability to borrow money or to have access to get some things that you want, basically, right? So if you ever want to think about, can I get that car, you must know what?
Your
What
credit.
is your credit score? What is your numbers, right? So we're going to talk about also a credit score. It predicts your likelihood to pay your debt back. So it's not anything personal when they say you do not qualify. They're going by the number that's being reported based on the likelihood that you would pay it back. We talked about the 3 credit bureaus: TransUnion, Equifax, Experian. And the reason why we have 3, and if you look at your credit score, one might have a higher number than the other. There's reasons for that because many of certain, I would say, investors or creditors, they report differently. Car loans report more so to this one, and different types of loans or anything that you're buying, they report differently. So some things might show up here, some things might show up there. Overall, you want to look at 3, take the average of 3, and you'll know like a true credit score. Now he stated, what's the score? How do you come up with it? The main thing is what? Payment history.
Yep.
Very, very important. Don't be late. And if you want to be late, don't be past 3 months, right? Because it really affects your net there. So we got to know our score. The components of a credit report is you got identity. They're going to know your demographics, your existing credit information, public records, and your recent inquiries. How do you obtain it? Annualcreditscore.com. You can get online or you can actually call the number. So I'm educating you today about your credit score. It really matters. It matters so much whether you drive your dream car or you walk it. Again, I'm Angela Hammond. Your credit score matters. Thank you.
How many of us are looking at our credit score as she speaks? I do check mine weekly. Thank you so much. I have my children coming to me asking me to co-sign. I said, I'm retired.
Right.
Don't be messing with stuff.
But I try to help them as much as I can. Thank you so much for that information. We need that type of information to know, be able to get homes and stop renting apartments and be able to live comfortably. I don't need a Mercedes-Benz. I'm okay with my little truck. Thank you so much. Our next speaker is Mr. John Gilmore. And the title of his speech is A Light You in a Heavy World. John Gilmore is a former law enforcement officer turned businessman, currently running a larger team of real estate agents who care just as much as he does about helping others and without inventing the opportunity of life of those around him. He dreams of providing a multitude of pathways for young and old to find the best versions of themselves as others have done for him. Let's hear Mr. John Gilmore.
Thank you. Toastmasters, future Toastmasters, distinguished guests. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
You might not believe this, but I haven't always worn this very warm and bright smile. There have been times when it wasn't there. But as we all grow, we grow. I had to learn and relearn some of life's harshest lessons. I won't constantly harbor on the grief and shame felt during those times, but we continue to move forward and not go through it, but grow through it. And what's wrong with a little reminder or two, right? A younger me understood, or at least subconsciously, I lived by a few rules. 1, live free. Find a silver lining in all things. Smile and don't be torn down by what others think or say. Live for me, but give to the world. And treat others like I would like to be treated. I kept the laconic demeanor. Unknowingly, I protected my mind. Unknowingly, I protected my body and my health. I maintained my youth for a little bit. I'm sorry, for a little bit. Quote, when there is no enemy within, the enemy outside cannot harm us. African proverb. How many of you knew that stress
actually physically affects your body?
Yes.
Good. Negative feelings and stress can cause cancer. It does cause cancer. It suppresses your immune system, and it allows other things to build up inside of you. When we study current and past, I won't say the P word, but I'll say mass illnesses, we start to find that, and if you don't believe me, please go do your research. We start to find that more people became sick or ill that actually wasn't affected. They just believed that they could be, or they believed that they would be. So they instantly started getting sick and they lost their lives. It's the placebo effect, which is crazy because it can not just harm you, but it honestly and actually has been proven to heal people as well. People that thought that they would never walk again, they started to. Where the mind goes, the body will follow, or your body follows your mind. 2 Corinthians 10:36. This rings so true in past. In the Korean War in the 1950s, there were so many captured soldiers, Marines, highly trained American and European soldiers that were held, not in bars, not with guns to their heads, not chained up. They were just held in rooms. They were fed, they weren't beaten. But crazily enough, none of them tried to escape. None of them. No one escaped from them. There were plenty of people that ended up expiring. They just rolled that blanket over their head, and the next day they were gone. There were studies on how it happened, but that is where we actually got the word brainwashing from. Again, perplexing. This drew me to some more words. It is not famine, not earthquakes, not microbes, not cancer, but man himself, who is man's greatest danger to man. For the simple reason that there is no adequate protection against psychic epidemics, which are indefinitely more devastating than the worst natural catastrophes, Carl Jung. That means that you have more power to harm yourself or those around you than anything else. As I continue to grow through pain, letdowns, heartaches, the darkness and the weight of the world, I must admit, the world outside got to me. It got in true curses, not the 7 words, but the actual thoughts, the millions of thoughts that ran through my mind, the millions of false occurrences that I allowed to grow inside of me from the outside. I started to feel sick. Lost some of my hair. Plenty of gray hair that we won't speak on right now. It looks good on some days. But my energy was low. My vibrations continued to go down. I was lost. I looked into the mirror one day and I could no longer see me. The strong, kindred spirit full of life, God's glory, I was no longer free. I forgot the principles of this world, the laws of the universe. I needed to be re-educated. Funniest thing is that I ended up revisiting some of the books that I once read. But I was also introduced to some of the most beautiful minds that are old, that have been here for so long that I just never came across, which is very ironic. Sometimes when we go through things, they show us where we should be at, and they show us what we missed the first time we lived. They taught me the light and the darkness shines from within and radiates out. No one on this planet travels through this universe that can take away your power. Only your thoughts can change your condition. We need to protect our minds from the curses that come outside. We need to quiet the words we accept from the radios, from TV, from our friends, and our so-called enemies. As I said before, as long as it's not inside, the outside can't harm you. Believe in you in the light of the gift God placed inside of you. Remember these words. Continue in the light of you. Excuse me. Continue in the light of you in the heavy world. Something actually just came to me, which is funny to me, but I continued to look while I was in this darkness, desperate to find any type of light, anything that could show me a way through. The darkness, desperate I was to try to find something, and I did. Started finding dim lights. And as I went towards them, I started to feel that my light was getting pulled out. I didn't realize it was actually draining me. That's when I realized that when it finally hit me, it's dying stars that actually turn into black holes. It's physics, but it's light. Remember who you are. Remember the light is inside of you. And remember that you all will always have those gifts. Sometimes we just need a reminder or two. Thank you.
John, you are so cool, calm, and every time I hear you speak, I'm sitting on the edge of my seat. You are so cool. I can't be your bad way, but I just wanted to keep it. Thank you so much. We get a lesson out of the speeches. I don't know about you, but I get so filled up when I hear certain speeches. But look at your name. Ooh, thank you both, Angela and John, for those speeches. You will be evaluated later on. But right now, we have something for everyone to participate in, and it's called Table Topics. And it's something that just gives us some spunk. And we have a person with us tonight, Mr. Tyrone Thorne. And I know he has a good table topics for us. Come right on up and get started, Mr. Tyrone.
Hold on. Good evening, all Toastmasters, future Toastmasters, and distinguished guests. How are you on this cold evening?
Wonderful.
Table topics. Speaking impromptu, either walking on a tightrope or dancing. That is what table topics is. You are speaking off the cuff and the spur of the moment. Any of you who have dated in any capacity or went on the job interview or had that elevator speech, that is table topics. You are speaking off the cuff. It's planned, but not too planned. But it's knowing how to land the message in a short period of time. We are in fall. We have just kicked summer out, and we just entered the front door of fall. And with any season or reason, things must occur. You put those old clothes away, give them away, redo your run, and then you adjust to, as I'm doing right now, to the weather that comes. And my theme is change and growth. And every season you're going to encounter in some form of fashion, change or growth.
Yeah.
So I require, and I have 6 quotes in that same space in place. I need 6 volunteers who are willing to either walk on a tightrope or dance on it in addressing the quotes that can either be on the line of change or growth. And I must say this, don't be too laconic in giving an answer. So who will be the willing and or the wanting, not the shy in the first part? Anyone? Don't be afraid. Okay, John. Step into your unknown. Come forward. Okay, John. 1 to 6. 4. Okay. Take a deep breath and digest. All change is not growth, as all movement is not forward. Ellen Glasgow. I repeat, all change is not growth, as all movement is not forward. Ellen Glasgow.
Toastmasters, future Toastmasters, and distinguished guests. Sometimes we can take as many steps as we can and end up being in the same spot that we were last year. Every step forward isn't always a step forward. Sometimes we can go back. Sometimes we take that one step forward and take those two. Time leaps back. I do disagree with one of those things. I think that every change is growth. As long as you have the ability to understand where you went wrong.
Yeah.
Every misstep can tell you that that's not the right way forward. But when you don't realize that, then yes, it is not growth. Take your steps, take your leaps, but never forget to use the mind that you were given. Never forget to use that vision that you were given to make each one of those steps go to where you need to be. Thank you.
He said, take your steps, take your leaps. I didn't add, take your falls, take your slips. There's a Liberian proverb. Don't look where you fell, but where you slipped. Who would like to be the next volunteer? It's not going to hurt you. It's not going to have you shattered. But I will. Wow. But I do hope that what I give out will provoke thoughts. Okay, Natasha.
Oh wait, we have a guest though.
Oh.
Oh wait a minute.
Because I see them both, I got the eyes.
Okay, so wait.
Oh, long lost.
I'll bring it.
You can introduce yourself, and I don't want to do it wrong because I know I'll check it.
Dr. McFadden.
Yes.
Oh, good evening. I'm Dr. Terry McFadden.
Yes, she is.
You know, haven't been here in a while, but, you know, we get to that later.
Yeah, because if you say it wrong, she's going to tell you. That's it, right. Pick a number from 1 to 6, but minus 4. Okay, number 1. Intellectual growth should commence at birth and cease only at death. Albert Einstein. Intellectual growth should commence at birth and cease only at death. Albert Einstein.
Okay, good evening, Toastmasters, future Toastmasters, and distinguished guests. As I previously said, I am Dr. Terry McFadden, and I'm going to be speaking on intellectual growth begins at birth and should not end until death. Understanding that every day we live is every day that we learn. Every move we make is a lesson in life. Currently, I will be 40 in 3 days. And for me, my reflection is what lessons have 30 taught me so that when I leap into 40, how will I apply those lessons to have a better life?
Yeah.
For me, there's even lessons in 9 because we understand and learn that God is real, okay?
Yeah.
And there's life after death, okay? So for me, even with us learning from birth and stopping at death, I don't believe we stop. Thank you.
Come on now.
You have me right.
No, it's your turn now, because, you
It's
know.
truly a circle. Nothing truly ends, but one end ends or one begins. Guess, if you're willing and wanting,
All right now.
Good evening, sir. And could you introduce yourself to the audience?
My name is Sheka Kanu. Sheka Komerbai Kanu is my full name. And I am we reside in Owens Mills. I'm in the higher ed space, currently work for the University of Maryland. I have been involved in Toastmasters in the past, familiar with the format. It has been a while, rusty. I'm happy that my time back in the Toastmasters capacity is when folks are getting back to doing it in person.
Yes.
And in virtual.
Yeah.
For the sake of just getting the table topics going, I'll just leave it there for now.
Okay.
Okay.
From 1 to 6 with the exception of 4 and 1.
5.
Okay. 5. Only the wisest and stupidest of men never change. Confucius. Only the wisest and stupidest of men never change. Confucius.
Thank you, Mr. Tyrone. Toastmasters, guest, distinguished guest, Morgan State University.
Right.
So as this philosopher from the East states,
Only the wisest and stupidest of men never change.
only the wisest and stupidest men never change. It reminds me of a saying that I might throw out there a little bit too often. The only constant in life is change. Sharks die if they don't move, if they're not constantly changing their environments. So there's a creature just in our world trying to survive and is programmed to always look for change, to keep the circulation through their gills to get the oxygen that they need to survive. But also change is one of those things that we as human beings unknowingly are fighting against. Be it change in the way that we speak to our mothers, be it change in the way that we speak to young people in church. So Confucius was on to something. It still is something that applies to everything that we do, be it in the way that we change the seasons, or in someone like myself to be less laconic. So I look forward to this visit to your Toastmasters, the best Toastmasters club out there.
You know it.
To present opportunities to come back around again, hopefully in a different facet. Thank you.
All right.
Perspective. Perspective. Hold up. Now, are you giving yourself up?
That was stood up. You stood up earlier. Like, that was a strong I just would like to know his birthday is always.
All right, Robert. You have 1 to 6, but you can't choose 1, you can't use 4, and you can't use 5.
I want to use 2 times.
You took my number.
Okay, 3.
You want to do? I'll take 2 then.
Flip a coin. Which one do you want?
2. I'll take 2.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Breathe deep, because this one's gonna be the popcorn kernel in your mouth.
Uh-oh.
You haven't been here long enough. The second quote: "Conformity is the killer of freedom and the enemy of growth."
Okay.
John F. Kennedy.
Say it.
Nah.
Conformity is the jailer of freedom and the enemy of growth. John F. Kennedy.
All right, good evening, fellow Toastmasters, future Toastmasters, and distinguished guests. If you don't know, I might get you off this one. I am a school teacher. And when you're talking about teaching, we're going to talk about systems. And we've been brainwashed, as you were talking about, John, earlier, right? To tackle, to address certain scenarios and situations in a certain way that we feel like we're conforming. That we have to go this route. We have to do these certain standardized tests. We have to. And there's no freedom in that. There's no liberty. In my opinion, which is factual, students are stuck or confused because they understand that the things that we are trying to power against it doesn't work or is not working. So in that sense, we kind of feel stuck. So I am a rebel. I want to tackle every single thing in a unique way. I will not just go with the wind. I feel like we need certain educators, teachers, speakers, men and female, right, that will go against the grain and show that new ways, new philosophies, new strategies is necessary in the world right now to tackle everything. They say that you can't, you can't put old wine and new skin.
That's right.
I don't like wine, but I do like some Welch's cranberry juice. But the mindset has to change, has to be refreshed, has to be renewed. If you want something new, do something new. That's a quote. I put on t-shirt on that. And that's my time, y'all.
The quote was, conformity is a jailer of freedom and the enemy of growth.
I'm at part two.
Shocking, I did not know that JFK said that at all. So I can definitely say that was refreshing to take in because that is a true slap. And I do mean a true slap. Okay, 2 quotes left, 2 volunteers.
Yeah. That's
Okay, Natasha. And I know she's not going to be laconic at all. So you have 3 and 6 that are left. Get ready to happily drown and appreciate. Especially when you're in the capacity that you were once in as a teacher. Or anyone who's retired in any capacity. Breathe deep. Growth is painful. Change is painful. But nothing is as painful as staying stuck where you do not belong. Now, Mariah Murphy.
Okay.
I'll say that again.
This is for you.
Growth is painful. Change is painful. But nothing is as painful as staying stuck where you do not belong. Mariah Murphy.
Yeah, he said, yeah. Let's go.
Okay. This is a tabletop, just going out of speech, all right? So, says you gotta let me know when I'm on time. All right. Can you read one more time?
Growth is painful. Change is painful. But nothing is as painful as staying stuck where you do not belong.
So I listened to this speech one time. It wasn't really a speech, it was like a message by T.D. Jakes. And he said that he doesn't like surgery. All right, he don't want to go under the knife unless it's absolutely necessary. And he started to have this pain in his leg, and the pain in his leg would not go away. It kept going, and matter of fact, it actually got worse. And so he went to the doctors and got some opinions, and then he got a second opinion, and then he got a third opinion because everybody wanted him to go under the knife. And he finally said, I'm gonna go ahead and get this surgery. You know why? Anybody know why? Because both of the options had pain, but one was temporary and one was never ending. You see, pain has purpose. Pain can propel you into your purpose if you choose to look at the good in every one of the situations. Even better, if you choose to look at the God in your situations. Sometimes we don't know it's time to move until we feel some level of uncomfortability. When we talk about change, of course it hurts because you don't know where you're going. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know how well you're going to do it. And if you're one who seeks to be successful or efficient in what you do, you don't even want to take that step into the unknown. But if you take that step into the unknown, walking by faith, then you know that everything that you endure, even if it has pain, has purpose. I love nature, and that's one of the things that shows me that. Think about a seed. A seed has to actually be broken in order for a sprout to come out. Do we like to be broken? Does it feel good to be broken? So I think we should probably just shift our mindset on pain. Because yes, it may hurt, but if it has purpose, which one hurts worse? To go where you're destined to be, or to stay somewhere that doesn't actually deserve your presence?
Natasha, I think you just made your own affirmation. Just at that time. One quote, one volunteer. Who's willing? Ashland.
Oh,
yeah. All right.
Right.
Okay, Ashland, the final quote. Breathe deep and enjoy response. Failure is not failure. Failure to change might be. John Wooden. Failure is not failure, but failure to change might be. John Wooden.
Delayed does not mean denied.
That's right.
Delayed does not mean denied. Failing forward, or I'm going to fail back. I'm going to make sure that I continue to push whichever way I go. Failing back, does that mean that I'm settling? That I'm not moving? Is that bad? Is that good? Am I stuck? Am I stagnant? Or am I supposed to fail forward to push through? Because the only way to get to my next goal is to fail forward, to push through, to focus in. Because if I set in my failure, am I being denied? Delayed does not mean denied. Delayed means closed doors, but not a no. Just, but not yet. I'm coming. Who, me? I will always fail forward to success. I will always stumble forward to joy. I will always skip, hop, and jump to where I'm supposed to go. Because whether I fail forward or I'm going back, I'm going to fall into grace. I'm going to fail into love. I'm going to fail into peace because I will always fail forward.
Y'all almost took me out. Those responses. I keep saying it and I'll keep saying it. Y'all are planting seeds
Yes.
and not weeds.
Yes.
This is table topics. You get the chance to really test your metal.
Mm.
Because whether you know it consciously or not, and most of the time it's not, you are testing your metal with table topics because you are answering spontaneously to questions that you don't see and you can't forecast to come. So you should almost always stay ready for those questions, especially when if you can't forecast them, they're going to show up when you expect them. You don't want to have that, oh, wait a minute, I got to get ready. No, you kind of are ready right there. You just know what to say, what to land, what to place, and then roll on through. And I can say this, I can steal Natasha's word for flow. Y'all didn't just flow, I'd add my word. Y'all flexed. And you need both.
Yeah, both of them.
From Natasha really triggering us with a reaction before she gave her response.
Yeah.
To Ashlyn stepping in and falling forward to saying, okay, I got to do this and I will do this to attain this.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
To John understanding a perspective opposite the speech or the quote, not totally, but understanding a different perspective of the same thing. To understanding life after death is not the end of life or the start of death by Dr. McFadden. And just knowing that, I know I'm forgetting some folks because I'm getting ready to rant. But when you have folks who are willing to step into your unknown, that is table topics. Every time you get up here, you participate, you are stepping into your unknown.
Mm-hmm.
So I thank you for stepping into your unknown, grow forward, flow, and flex. Good evening.
Didn't I tell you when Tyrone takes the stand, he always comes with a surprise. Thank you so much for that table topics. Those subjects were on point. Some of you know and some of you don't know. I am First Lady. My husband always put me up to give reflections on Sunday. To all of you that spoke tonight, I was taking notes. So if you hear some of what you spoke, this Sunday, just say, she got that from me. I thank you all of you were on point. Now we come to the good part, the general evaluator. She will explain her role, Miss Sarisa Pleasant. Come forward. Give her a hand.
Good evening, Toastmasters and our guests. Welcome to yet another beautiful, awesome, tremendous, motivational, whatever word you can think of, the positive wording. This is an amazing meeting.
Yes.
So my role today, before I give my overall evaluation of the meeting, my role today is to evaluate everything that takes place in our meeting, from the setup until the time that I sit down. During this meeting, I have taken notes on everything that happened or didn't happen. And I will evaluate each participant on the meeting program, and I also look for examples of preparation, organization, delivery, enthusiasm, observance, and performance of your duties. And at the end, I will give my report. So right now, I will be introducing our evaluation. This evaluation point is very important because it helps our speakers to become even greater speakers. Of course, we love what we heard this evening, but there is always something that we can do to improve, or there would not be a Toastmasters Club. And so first, in our general evaluations is 2 to 3 minutes with 30 seconds to conclude. And our action is our timer. And so the first evaluator will be Robert, who will be introducing Angela. He'll be evaluating Angela's speech.
All right. Whew. All right, good evening, fellow Toastmasters, future Toastmasters, and guests.
Good evening.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
I am the evaluator for my dear friend, partner, mentor, Angela Henry. I want to just talk about some amazing things that you did. Can we walk together? Listen. She made it, y'all. We can walk around a little bit. Listen.
First lady.
I see
This
this
right now.
Carol, listen. Miss Eva is very famous. You know, I don't know if you know Miss Eva to be a model. Very Day Day, right? And she's real big on walking the platform, like using all four corners, right? Being mindful also not to have your back too long to the individuals, but at the same time, this is your floor. The one thing we want to try to be mindful of, this is not Morgan State Toastmasters. This is international preparation, right? So you're walking across the stage, you're interacting. The one thing I noticed that you're a teacher by heart. Had handouts for you. You had the engagement. Number one. Number two, wait, okay, listen. Your eye contact. We used to term a couple years ago global eye contact, where you're looking at the whole world. I felt like you gave the same speech here. I could feel the same energy even online if I was on my virtual. Some words that I felt as you were just preparing this speech and delivering as well. I wrote down helper. God knows that in all your speeches you provide hope. So for me, I'm just like, I don't know, credit rank. I was, what was that? Just like, I'm gonna have to just call her. So it encouraged me like to take the information and apply it. And I feel like any great speaker, if they're in church, if they're your friends, any information you can take and apply currently right now is relevant. Is the biggest speech we need. The one thing I want to encourage you or push you towards is some of the pre-work. I felt like you lost some time handing out the papers. John had papers out, you know. It allows you to kind of flow, and even during that transition, right, you can tell a joke. Your intro to Force and was like top tier. The one thing I want to add before you cut me off, right, is Angela is an amazing evaluator. And if you want to become an amazing speaker, all you also do all the time, evaluate. Step in the role of an evaluator, you can use those ways to critique individuals, now you can critique yourself. Other than that, Joe, listen, I'm ready for you to start playing a speech. Angela, she's ready, okay? Angela's ready for the speech, so thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Robert, for that evaluation. All right, now our second evaluator will be Olio. Oh, baby, you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you did both? I did both.
You did both? Okay, well, he.
Oh, wow. Did all that.
If you hear one evaluation that you already heard, you don't need to repeat. If there's anything in addition you can add, you can do so. All right.
Mr. John Gilmore. Oh, you want to start off?
Yes.
All right, Mr. John Gilmore, a light view in a heavy world. You started off your speech, and I'm gonna start off something that you did very well as soon as you started off your speech, and you excelled very well at it. You smiled. That's so important and imperative when it comes to speaking. But not only did you smile, you pointed to your smile to make sure we were engaged with it. And I caught it. Your speech, you were supposed to focus on body language and vocal variety in this speech. So when you did that, immediately I looked and I was like, and I got that energy. So that was very great when you did that. So you started off wonderful. Now, I put on work on, the things you need to work on. Dramaticizing your body language to enhance a point. Because you were right here reading, You robbed us from the energy that you gave us during your tabletop.
Mm.
You didn't give us that walk around. You didn't give us that eye look, that when you turned around. You didn't give it to us during your speech, you gave it to us in table topics. So what that lets me know is that it's in you.
Yeah.
But I think you were focused more so trying to make sure that we got the words that you were saying, that we didn't get the emotion that you were meant to be portraying. So you have it in you. You just did it. We just saw it. But during this speech, I would tell you to work on dramatizing that. Show that point. When you said the jail, you could shake the bars, right? Because that'll make you feel like, ooh. So you can just do different things. Since this is on vocal variety and body language, this wasn't on speech structure. So that's not what you're getting graded on. So with that, I would tell you also to work with your eye contact, to make connections when you're making a point. So that way when people hear you making that point and you look around, they feel it. They know when you're saying something, they're like, yeah, I feel you, man. You said something, you said a phrase that I had to write down. Dying stars turn into black holes. That was so profound, man.
Yeah.
When you ended that, or when you started towards it, I might have ended it with that one. Just like that.
Let that marinate.
That was it. All right, that was it. It was so profound. I had to write it down because literally, like, I would use the vocal variety at that point to really elicit that impact. See, I'm gonna tell you when the enhancing you could do to the vocal variety is really give us that difference in tonality. When you want to make that point, see, dying stars turn into black holes. So if you just play around with that a little bit more, step out, don't be shy, man. You got that, man. So I would just challenge you to just work the room and let your emotions loose. Let them vibe. Just in case you want to know. Clarity, I believe that you were very clear in your message. You did pronounce or enunciate your words very clear. 5. All right, your vocal variety, 3. I think you used tonality. You use it, but you use it, I feel like, too comfortably. Not when your speech is being critiqued on it directly. I would tell you to practice. If you're going to read, that's fine because you can read, but make sure that you're making sure that the emphasis on what you're supposed to be practicing, you focus on that for that. Gestures, I gave you a 4. When you're using your gestures, you use your gestures well, and they strengthen your speech, but they didn't enhance your speech. So they made your speech better, but didn't show the greatness of what you were speaking about so we could feel it. Sorry. Audience awareness, 3, because you didn't work that room and give everything, or you didn't engage us so that we could really, to the point where we could like answer questions, something, or to engage with you. So I would just tell you, engage with us a little, have fun with us, or if you want to get serious, be serious with it. But make sure, like, maybe, and that happens with your eye contact. You can give eye contact and get that audience engagement. Maybe it's a head nod, maybe it's a look, and then you can get that right there. Interest, I put 4 because you made sure that we were well interested with how you're speaking. Unintentional movement, I gave you 5. I don't think you had a lot of unintentional movement that you should not have had. So while you need to work on actually enhancing your speech with the movement that you're doing on purpose, I don't think you need to stop working on the movement that you're not doing, because sometimes the movement that you're not doing is just as important as the movement that you're trying to do. So when you're not fidgeting, when you're not moving around, when you're not touching your stuff, that's actually a great sign. So you excelled at that. Like that, you did that phenomenally. All right? Your tone and your pace when you took your time, even when you were trying to read something, that's actually what you want to do. Don't start saying, take your time, gather yourself, and when you're ready, you speak. So you did that excellently also. And purposeful movement. Actually, just already talked about that part. And that was 3, because that was what you do on purpose. So your subconscious cues are actually better than what you're trying to do consciously, which means you're better than what you believe you are. You just have to do it naturally because it's already in you, if that makes sense. You're already better than what you think you are, because you showed us doing table topics. So that means subconsciously you're at a higher level than what you're trying to do. So don't try to do your speech, just do your speech, and your speech will be better than what it already is. Thank you.
was amazing. Robert was
Just,
just
I just want to see if you watch John virtually, his creativity is out the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, great indoors. What's up? That's what
Done with y'all.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Listen, I
Boy, it's very thorough evaluation. Oh, and I'm sure our speakers can gain a lot. Our speakers, please utilize the feedback that was given for your next speech. And that's how we go. All right. Before I go into my overall evaluations of the entire meeting, I'm going to have two assistants to help me out. First, I will have Natasha Brown come up to give us our council grammarian report. Thank you. I'm just over here marveling at the growth, like, oh, yo, you're evaluating. I was thinking, like, you better grow, you better flex. You not even grow. Okay, I'm flexing now. Okay. So, I have the pleasure of being the all-counter grammarian for this meeting. And really, I was not a stickler on all of the odds, and, slang words. It's really anything that detracted from the message. So here I go. Miss Eva, I'm always enamored by your powerful causes. That's somebody that you can really, if you need some help with that, you can model her because she just flows through her speaking, whether it's impromptu or planned. So thank you for always modeling those powerful causes. I have one thing for you. You said, I know he has a good table topic, but I know he has a good table topic. All right. And then we're going to go down to Angela. The things that I noticed was really like subject-verb agreement. So there is numbers in it. There are numbers in it. Both of your names. So just subject-verb. I love your tone variations. We would get like more dramatic, kind of like what Olio was just describing to John. Like not just one tone throughout the whole, but really like engaging us and bringing some variation in there. I love that. Pausing purposely, tone very conversational, shows your expertise and great practice. That's what I have. John, you said a little bit, but then you corrected it and said a little bit. One one ah. So great pause, great preparation. Tyrone, and you also said the word of the day. Tyrone, you said the word of the day. I don't have anything for you either, so you did very well with your pausing, and you are master all-counter grammarian. If nobody knows, this is who we all decide ceiling that we try to reach over here with Mr. Tyrone. So thank you again for being an amazing model. Just for table topics, John, you had one Latira, girl, you better come back up in here after years and being amazing, like no no eyes, no anything. It was effortless. I'm so happy to be here. Very strong. Shaka, you said the word of the day. Awesome. You had one and one sub, which is amazing. So look at me. I just did it too. I guess I wanted to join into the club. All right. So again, Robert, one actually two one But let me tell you, when you spoke the first time, you didn't have anything. Can you give yourself a round of applause? Last time it was in person, I was like, let me stop with the tally. So your family in here, we just talking about growth. That's wrong. So we're gonna go ahead and like represent. You said we kind of feel stuck. So you can just scratch the kind of we feel stuck. And new strategies is, new strategies are. So for subject verb agreement. Oh, yo, Mr. Onomatopoeia. Does anybody know what an onomatopoeia is? When you like say the same, oh wow. Yes, this is them right here. Very animated, very engaging, taking us there so we can just feel everything he's saying with all the senses. I love it. And it wasn't like
It wasn't filler words. It was adding value. Because I remember he would do that when he was thinking. Okay, it would be a whole song, and I'm like, they think it's cool, but I know what you know. Okay, you did an amazing job stopping, so I appreciate that. Natasha, you had a when you was up here for your table topic. And Ashley, you were amazing. Took your time, flowed through it, and that's what we had. Continue to grow, flow, and flex.
Thank you, Natasha, for giving us our grammarian report. And that role is not easy. That is not an easy role, and as you can tell, when we ask for volunteers, that is always the last role. I should know, because I had to do it 3-4 times in a row. So please rotate this role, because actually you will be forced to listen. Almost to the point where you really can't enjoy it because you listening like, I'm trying to catch something. But every role in Toastmasters has its benefit. So please volunteer for any role that you have not performed, including this one. So thank you, Natasha. Next is our timer. Our timer is Ashlyn. Please come up and give us our timer report.
Hello everyone. So I am the timer, and I was keeping track of everyone's time. So at the beginning, we started at 7:05 for the meeting, which is not bad. I mean, that's really good. For speeches, Miss Angela, your speech was 7 minutes and 43 seconds. Awesome. John, your speech was 8 minutes and 20 seconds. For table topics, John, your speech was 1 minute and 13 seconds. Dr. McFadden, yours was 1 minute and 84 seconds.
84 seconds?
And 4.
That's past 2 minutes.
That's what it said.
You said 84 seconds?
You said 1 minute, 84 seconds? Yes.
I'll show you my time.
It's fine, it's fine. I made it to the grade.
You made yeah. 2 minutes. Checker? Am I saying that right? Okay. 2 minutes and 12 seconds. Robert? 1 minute and 55 seconds. Miss Natasha, 1 minute and 52 seconds. Ashlyn, 1 minute and 42 seconds. For our evaluators, Robert, you were evaluating Angela, and you were at 2 minutes and 57 seconds. Nice. And Oyo, you were evaluating John. Your time was 5 minutes.
Jesus.
And 40 seconds.
That was a speech.
And it was long.
That was a speech. I did that. Somebody did that.
And Robert, you evaluating John, yours was 8 seconds.
Great time, bro.
Great time, bro. Great time. That is everyone's time for the evening. Thank you, Ashley.
You do feel kind of closed in over here. This is how I started. And I was so comfortable out here. But when you come from behind here and come up front, you feel free.
Yes.
Okay, now we'll give my overall evaluation of the meeting. I would first like to congratulate our speakers. It's definitely not easy giving a speech. You may be spending time, you're practicing, you are just timing yourself just to make sure you're on point. So please give our speakers another round. Thank you for giving us, this topic is so important, credit.
Yes.
I was just speaking with a friend today about it, you was declined.
for a loan, and I got told, why? He's a content creator, okay, banks wanna know, I need something more secure than that. And John, thank you for giving us your speech. You see, you were so quiet behind the scenes on on Zoom, you know, just so quiet. And I come and just hearing everybody is just amazing. So thank you all. And so I'm going to give my overall evaluation of this Toastmasters meeting. I came early on purpose so I can evaluate to see if everything was on point. I see that always look at the agenda, and the first thing you always do is see who's here and see how to fill the roles if someone is missing. I immediately saw that Ashana, she is out of town, but she is on the agenda. I don't know why, but she's not here. So we were still able to emphasize in our meetings. As you can see, our timer, we usually have timing lights, but Ashley did a wonderful job of emphasizing. She has used books by color. So thank you for that. Normally we have our MSU Toastmasters banner. You'll see, if you come back next time, you'll see. So we have an MSU banner, but we were able to still fulfill the roles of this meeting as if everybody was in place. So that's just another thing. So whoever is making the agenda, please make sure it is as accurate as possible before printing. Even, we send the email out early, which is good because we have a preview. But when we're here in person, it would be good to have the most updated agenda as you know it. So when people come in, they know what to expect. The guests were welcome upon arrival. I introduced myself to Shaka here. I saw he was a new face. And I think I saw you before. I wasn't sure whether you was a guest, but I think, is this your first time here?
Yes.
Okay, so I hope everyone made our guests welcome as they came into the room. So I did see that. Another thing I think is very important. Before we start the meeting, please make sure it is okay for people to know that they're being filmed, video on YouTube, social media. And I saw you were walking around with a camera and things like that. So sometimes we have guests that may not want to be on film. You just want to make sure it's okay before we get started. The meeting opening. The presiding officer, you opened Olio. You were awesome. Thank you. He filled in for Shauna as the sergeant at arms and the president. Oh, no. Robert. Robert, you filled in as the sergeant at arms, so thank you for that. And our president, Olio, gave us a wonderful opening here. And the meeting started about 5 minutes late, but I like that Robert just gave everybody notice that the meeting was going to be starting a little bit late. So we don't think that we're just sitting around waiting. So usually we start promptly at 7 p.m. And sometimes there's a later convening the agenda together. So thank you for your patience on that. Snacks are always provided in the back. So thank you for introducing. So help yourself to that. And we have that. And the Toastmaster is Eva. Wonderful. The only thing I would say is before you start, look at the agenda just to make sure the agenda is exactly the way it is before we start. Mm-hmm. And that's why we had a little bit of a confusion as who was evaluating John. Because I knew Olio was evaluating, but I didn't know you were evaluating. So it'd be good to let Ms. Eva know who is evaluating. Okay? Mm-hmm. The theme definitely matched perfectly. I don't know if it was intentional, what have you be, but it was right on point. The theme was on point with the table topics. So thank you, Tyrone, on the table topics. I tell you, I think these table topics are something we can give a speech on. Every statement could be a whole entire speech.
It's a sermon.
Yes, I'm sermon there. So thank you for that. We always have such thought-provoking table topics. I just think that's why we're one of the best clubs out here. So we challenge each other. And we always say we have that motivation inside of us that it just comes out. It comes out automatically. Yeah. Okay. And so let me see. Our timer, thank you. Everyone is on point. We're on time with everything. I was looking at the schedule. There's times on the agenda just to make sure we're on track. I was checking with that. Work. And overall, and for our guests, usually when we have prepared speakers, we always, everyone gets stands and give a standing ovation because it just takes a lot in us like to give a speech that it really feels good. It just warms our heart knowing that That might be the only time, who knows, that might be the only time someone may stand for them to give a presentation, so. And it'll be good for that to be mentioned at the beginning of the meeting, so I guess I'm like, oh, they're all standing, what's going on here? So that's why everyone was standing when prepared speakers. And last but not least, I'm glad, thank you, Robin, for turning off the projector, because sometimes that can be distracting for the light. So if we're not using this, it's always good to turn off the screen when you're not using the projector. Sometimes you stand out here, you see a shadow or something, you know, so you don't want that to be a distraction. But overall, please take my evaluations to heart and just use them for next time we meet. Overall, we always do an amazing job. We always make it work. We always do, whether behind the Zoom or in person. This is our second meeting in person in 2.5 years. This is how we do it at MSU Toastmasters. So thank you. Continue, please. Our guests come back. We'd love to have you.
All right, everyone. First thing I want to say is thank you all for just coming out, having fun with us. We are having meetings every first and third Monday of the month. We're having homecoming this weekend, Saturday. We will be representing MSU Toastmasters in the building, all right? And we'll make sure that everyone has the information because it may change, but we're doing one Zoom meeting, one in-person meeting, and that's how we're doing it. So that way for the people that can make it, they can make it. And for the people that can't, they can still tune in with us online. So I just wanted to make sure I said that. Anyone that wants to join or wants to bring a friend or anything like that, you know, it's free to come. It's free to come hang out with us, and anyone that you want to remember to do prepared speeches. Do we have any guests today? I know we do have some in the room. Right? The guests like to stand up, or returning members that haven't been here for a while. Would you like to let us know a little bit about yourself? How you enjoyed the meeting? Will you be returning to the meeting again? Or what stood out to you?
Hello, everyone. My name is Damara Nestle. I am alumni of Morgan State University. I graduated in 2021 with my bachelor's in social work. I am delighted that I was able to join this meeting today. I learned so much, as well as I'm already ranting, so please forgive me. But I learned a lot, and I do plan on coming in the future and making it a habit of work on my public speaking.
Good evening. As I already said, I'm Dr. Sarah McFadden. Technically, I'm a little retired, a little bit, but I finally was in town and saw that y'all were in person. I was like, oh, let me pop up and see my family. I missed them a little bit. Did not plan on speaking, but First Lady was like, that's what you're going to do. And I listened to my elders. So, but I have been pretty busy. I published a chapter in a book. I've done some speaking, a presentation and partnership with the Maryland Commission on Civil Rights, talking about the shadow pandemic, speaking of the impact of COVID-19 on women and housing insecurities. And then, of course, you all know I'm a part of the Baltimore County African American Cultural Festival Board of Directors, and we just planned and executed our 26th annual festival. Yeah. And my birthday is Thursday. So it's Friday.
Yes, welcome back.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members. It's not if I'll be back. I will be back. This saying that iron sharpens iron. It's obvious that this club is full of talented people that have a way with words, comfortable communicating in various different ways. And the most valuable part of Toastmasters and what I've seen in the past is great evaluations. And I don't think I've
Yes.
ever heard anything better than what I've heard here
Come
today.
on,
Yeah.
come
So we appreciate you all for coming out and just enjoying, the fellowshipping with us. And I do want to make sure that, for people that want to stay, they understand the fee. I want to turn that over to our amazing treasurer, Ms. Angela Hamlin.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. President. So glad that we have guests in the house. You have the opportunity to join, as we all stated at the beginning, the best Toastmasters club in the world. When we think about membership, we're not going to say what's the cost. We want to talk about what's the investment.
Yes.
So
The
the
language for me.
investment for 6 months of your membership is $70 as a new member. And that membership goes from October 1st through the March. And so it's 6 months. You gain so much, as you stated, just being in it one day. Just think about coming every first and third. Just get empowered and to do all the things that you want to do, and you'll be strengthened. So I encourage you, if you want to become a member, you can see me, you can see the president, or you can ask someone for the vice president of membership, and we can all speak with you. I want to thank those returning members for paying your membership. Just know that your membership matters.
Yes,
We
really.
want to continue to be the club that we know we can be, and we all wanted to continue to grow, flow, and flex, right? So keep that going. If you haven't paid yet, see me. You can pay by Cash App, you can send PayPal, but it's important that it gets done. We are in a new year, so Happy New Year for Toastmasters.
Yes, Happy New Year.
Any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Thank you.
Do you have a question that's on Jamie?
Yes, I just wanted to say on behalf of my sister Trivia, she's the Vice President of Education, and she wants to let you all know that contest season is approaching. The window is between October 22nd and January 13th. So when we decide when our club contest will be, I want you all to already be preparing yourselves for signing up. So decide where you want to go, and it doesn't have to be, you can be a member for a day or a year. So, just want to put that bug in your ear. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Thank you for that great information. That's why Robert Tyree said exactly what he said. He said, this isn't just Toastmasters. He said, this is international, right? It's not just Morgan State, it's international. And that's exactly what we hope that we're grooming everybody to take that international stage. I want to make sure everyone understands this update. The first meeting is going to be virtual. The first meetings are on Zoom. The first Mondays of the month are on Zoom.
Other way around.
It's in person, that's why opposite.
Gotta reverse. The first Monday
It's
are
live.
in person.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I'm confusing myself now. And the third Monday is on Zoom. All right, so family first. That's why we're going to family first Mondays. Third Mondays is on Zoom. All right, so I just want to make sure everybody knows the future. Obviously, it was me.
Availability and flexibility, like you
That's
said.
absolutely. And like Tyrone said, conforming is a killer of freedom and a jailer of growth. So with that being said, thank you everyone and enjoy the backwards.
You had it backwards.
Say it again, please.
Conformity is the jail of freedom.
All right. We're gonna take it on Tyrone. So we're gonna everyone have a good night, great night. Be safe.
All right, thank you so much for tuning in. Check us out first Monday here at the Earl S. Richardson Library on Morgan State campus. Or you can check us out online. The link is in the bio for very Monday.
Anybody else? Collect?
Oh, wait, I got mine. No, but I got mine. Mine.
Why did you give it to her?
Do you want to ask? So ma'am, look at you. Thank you.
Social worker.
Oh, yeah, I need to do that. Really? Oh, wow. So you like the things? Like the American food.
We're on the technology side. Our department just wants to roll out soon, but we do have a couple.
Go for it. So funny. That's the first question. It's not meant to be a social work place. You like you gotta put something everywhere. It's gonna be up there.
Love the hat.
Girl, I wanted to get because it was raining and I didn't have enough room.
Information about joining the club.
Who was doing that?
Yeah, I did sign that. So you get an email or something?
Yes, sir.
Came off like a professor at one point, that's
There you go, right? Feel full. I mean, Fail forward. That's something I tell myself.
that is between you and the top. You just gotta come on. I'm gonna steal what I'm saying now. I got that. So I think it's Well,
Yes,
same.
I'm
Well, same. When she was she had to show up before the she'll say, she'll be reporting. Yeah, sure.
See you, Miss Eva.
Yeah.